it still rings a bell to me, that asking people they better move their ultralights, there's something coming in. It made a disturbance. I really appreciate what you did for that. It really made a day for Palmyra people.
That's good, thank you.
Next year?
Next year.
Do it again?
I can ask, I know what kind of thing.
Well, Cal sure brings a wealth of knowledge to the organization. We're sure grateful that he accepts the position and thankful that he's here. We look forward to working diligently to keep this airport operating smoothly. Okay, I guess number 4, I guess we already took care of, didn't we?
We did inadvertently.
Unless you have something else that you need to
No,
add.
that was taken care of under correspondence.
Number 5 is discuss maintenance on the airport property field east of 106. That's that field out this side that is a clear area for the approach. And Frank, you had some thoughts along those lines. We kind of discussed it a little bit the other day.
Yeah, well, last year's, I can't remember the whole thing anymore, but somebody was concerned that it wasn't getting mowed down. And the fellow right over the hill over here, the farmer, wanted to cut it down and take the grass off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was lined up, but it didn't quite happen. He may be willing to do that, but what you wanna do is keep it clear, or
Right.
at least maintain. Now, you have this land here where Mr. Caw rents it.
Mm-hmm.
Would we wanna see if he'd be willing to raise hay on that? And at least to be taken off 3 to 4 or 5 times a year? And then, can we do it? Do we have to have a conditional use permit, because this is all zoned what now? Industrial,
Light industrial or something, I forgot what they call it in zoning now.
you know exactly whatever the airport is, but I think you have to get, according to Josh, probably a conditional use permit, but that would probably be nothing. Does it make?
If we're already farming an area on the airport here, and that's under the same designation, you know, to be able to maintain the property across the street would only make good sense. Because now it's backed right up, we get a subdivision kind of backed up to it there. And I'm sure those people would appreciate the thing being cut down once in a while to keep the mosquito population down and bugs down and stuff,
So
so.
would appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be too much of an issue with that, but I can check with the village
Chuck,
if you think that's necessary.
I think you have to.
Well, it seems as though there's a fine line between farming and cutting, because one begets the other if it's done in the right order. So we end up killing 2 issues and getting a little income.
Well, yes, and that would make perfect sense to do it that way.
Instead of just paying to have it cut and
Right.
laid down.
Okay, Lou, John, what happened in the past? Who paid for the seeding for the hay for the fields itself?
Out here, Larry Cow did because he's the guy farming it.
Right.
Or his
Yeah,
his nephew, or his
I
son?
think it's
It's not
his
Larry,
son.
it's his son or something like that. I made a mistake on the name. But the guy that's currently farming it paid for the seed, that's his alfalfa. And I think he has 2 years left on the lease. And alfalfa is typically a 4-year crop. And after 4 years, most farmers want to put in corn or something like that to capitalize on the nitrogen in the soil. I don't know what the deal is with this. I've never seen corn. We had beans out here a year or 2 ago, I think.
Open beans, I've never seen corn.
Yeah, maybe we never wanted corn out because of the height problem with it and all. Now out there, I haven't looked at the soil myself very closely, but from what Winona and a few other people said, it's pretty crummy soil. But I still don't see why they couldn't put alfalfa in there, but the problem is, the cost of the alfalfa seed, poor soil, you may not get enough yields to make it worth your time for the cost of seeding it.
Well, I've lost track of all what alfalfa seed costs.
It's high now, real high.
So my thought was, you know, if he pays for all the seed, let's say it's $5,000 for the seed. Do we give it to him the first year? This could all be worked out, you know, but if he's laying the money out to seed that, how many acres is over there?
I don't know, how many years have we been talking about?
Let's see, it's-
Because
Exactly.
my impression was the part of the property that people were complaining about wasn't that big of an area. So that might be able to just be mowed, and the rest of it, don't worry about, mow it occasionally, just get rid of the trees, because we don't want trees sprouting up out
well,
there.
that's true, but then we gotta buy a used mower, we discussed that before.
Well, you know, John, I can recall, years ago, that was in corn.
That was, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I saw that up close and personal through the windshield of my Luskin one time when you had.
Oh, you were what?
I had a little engine failure just off the.
Well, then what I think we should
It was
do
corn, and
is,
I didn't take much of it down.
take the first step, see about conditional use permit, and get the okay from the village, whoever's we have to deal with, and put it out for a bid. See who wants to pay how much per acre and what they wanna do with it. If they wanna put corn out there, I don't think corn's a bad thing over there, it's far enough away from the,
Right.
It's not a problem.
it wouldn't be a problem.
Well, I can
It's
tell
actually a
you,
good resting crop
It
before you.
really
get to
slows
the
an
ditch on
airplane down.
106.
Yeah,
well, I'm telling you, people have landed in Hawkins's field out here, more than once, so, in the cornfield.
yeah.
Are we making a motion on that, John?
I think let's make a motion to check into conditional use from wherever we have to talk to on that. That might involve anywhere from the county to the village. And then if that's okay, then let's put it out for bid.
I agree. I'll second it. You want an agenda, is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This has got one on his phone, he's looking at, what is it?
Your eyes that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I will contact, I'll take their contact.
Okay, so we got a motion,
Who's second?
The village, you know.
All in favor?
Gotta keep looking to Frank to take care of this.
Well, you know what?
Who's the second?
Frank's,
Yeah.
Frank's.
Yeah.
Okay, I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? If there's none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I will check on that.
So one other thing to maybe consider is we've removed some of the land
Right.
that was farmed there. So in order to maybe maintain the rent for Caw using the land, that might supplement what we took away from him to.
And I would imagine, seeing as he's the one that's already got an investment out here and has lost part of that investment now, he should probably be the one that we talk to,
Well, yeah.
you know, to see if he's interested in this over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it'd only be the fair thing to do.
So then our motion did not include putting it out for bid, so.
No, because
Because if
we
we can
don't
maybe
know
just have
what
an
our
informal,
situation is yet.
can you do that, Jeff? Have you been speaking with,
Nick,
Nick Comm? Yeah.
I have not
Okay,
spoken with
all
him
right.
yet.
Well, we need to make sure that we don't have an issue with the village first.
yeah,
You know, so we can get that next meeting, but if you wanna have an informal conversation with them,
I'm thinking we should probably determine whether we can do farming over there, because I don't think you can do farming in the village, but, you know, the airport is part of the village now, but we have farmed that area in the past, so I think we're kind of grandfathered in. That might be a little more sticky. So I guess I
call
would
it
like
a
to make.
garden.
Pardon?
But
Call it
they may
garden.
give us a conditional use.
Community garden.
yeah, I think that's gonna be an easy thing.
We're trying to get conditional use, which they will allow you to vary from what it is, if you're getting a conditional use.
Yeah,
I guess I wouldn't like to offer it up to Nick if it's not approved for his use.
Right, let's get it approved first, then talk to Nick.
I would say that's probably the better approach, in my opinion.
whatever you wanna do. Okay, number 6 is discuss issue with deep drainage ditch north side of Airport Road.
they had
It's the one down after the curve by,
That's the one that is,
the red hanger.
right, that's the one that's vexing us, and that's the one that was changed.
It's down here.
We don't know by who or why.
Right.
That's
From the south side of the road to the north side.
Is that the whiskey's hanger?
The one
Joe's
here.
whiskey's hanger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's one we're still gathering information on. That was supposed to be, on the south side of the road.
Right.
And at some point through, and we don't know who authorized it, it went to the north side of the road because due to inadequate or outdated elevation surveys, they said they didn't have the ability to go that deep on the south side of the road, so at some point it got changed
To the north.
to the north. And that's what we're really trying to track down, because it's dangerous, it's inconvenient, and you see all the issues.
Oh, yeah.
That particular area, I think, I'm just making a statement, whatever happens, but that whole section should be filled in along with
Yeah.
that down to that second, I call it the second row of hangers, at least 3/4 will be down so people can get through there and find if they wanna take a gradual slope with culverts or drains or whatever they have to the big retention pond, fine, but it's too dangerous.
I would,
If a little kid right now went out there sledding one more time, or playing around and slipped down in there right now, they don't know, it's blown over, it's probably blown flat, straight over, filled with snow. They'd never get out of there.
Well, they're gonna go out there now, and walk across that snow and go right in.
That's what I just said,
uh,
in a different way.
In the snow.
same thing, just different.
Only via email, and have not really received them back yet. I had a packet here, which I can give to you.
Engineering firm,
No, they're pretty tight-lipped,
Yeah.
Strand is. So I think probably our best recourse is to try to get information from the state. And when I spoke with Sam Lee today, I did not bring that up.
Okay.
He had called me on a single issue.
Sure.
I didn't want to expand it into something that could get pretty messy.
If you've got that contact, would you feel comfortable talking to him about that?
Absolutely.
See if, now, let's just take for example, like Frank was saying here. We've got a situation here where we've got a deep ditch, okay? If, and what we don't need is to get back charged, because we're filling that in, okay? So we need to make sure there's no problem going that way, but if we were to take that and make it a swale heading to the west, to approximate the same amount of catchment area, okay, but much shallower, run it all the way towards to the west, even down maybe past my hangar, or even into the big retention area, with some culverts, so that people still have access to their hangars and stuff, instead of this, driving around all the way around, on a taxiway out here to get to them. I would think that wouldn't be a real issue, and it's perhaps something that we could accomplish ourselves, or.
I think so too. The other thing I wanted to bring up to Sam was, and I didn't again today, was the issue about the insurance. I was curious to see what his reaction to that was, that kind of unintended consequences
Yes.
of something that was changed, it's by someone at some point.
Right.
Right. And see if there's any funding for that correction, because now they've caused us and the town some issues here.
Yes.
I will say, I spoke to him several, 2, 3, 4 months ago, whatever it was, and I explained that, how dangerous that was, and the concerns, and he agreed with that was dangerous.
Yeah.
He said, I see that here, there's concerns, I understand your concerns, that's where we left off.
Now, maybe they can find some funds for remediation.
Does Strand bear any responsibility as the engineers?
We don't know, because what we don't know yet is whether their on-site engineers made that change and considered it a minor change.
Well, that's what they said.
That's what-
It's no minor change.
It's not a minor change, both in concept and depth and scope of it, plus the damage they did to, the red hanger and other accesses, so. They really kind of screwed that at every level, and it's, we may never find out where it was authorized from. So we'll deal,
Well-
I guess we'll deal with the cards we're dealt here.
And if they did it on their own, you're talking legal, you're talking a lot of legal expenses, because they're gonna have their corporate attorneys and all that
Yeah.
stuff, so.
And they can certainly outgun us.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, like you say, you're just better dealing with the hand you've been dealt and go that route and do whatever you need to do to get it fixed.
So let's see, we could fill that back in. There's all kinds of dirt over there.
Yeah,
Couple guys
exactly.
with some big quad axles.
Well, and if we are excavating down that direction, we've got all that dirt that can come this direction. You know, so we may not be running over there to move anything, because basically what we're looking for is a swale to go down through there that would be the same retention.
Scheme.
Yeah,
You may wanna have a different engineering firm take a look at it.
Yeah, no,
pardon me?
You may wanna have a different engineering firm take a look at it.
Yeah, the only problem that I see with that, Rob, is cost. You know,
Well, I get it, but at the same time, you know, they're the engineers are the experts, right? As opposed to just thinking
Well,
something could work and then.
obviously not. No,
Present
I get what
contracted
you're
engineers
saying.
excluded.
I get what you're saying, yeah, we want
Just
to
to be
make
careful,
sure that.
cover all
we're not
liability.
getting
You've got a
trucks.
legitimate engineering firm looking at it and offering your thoughts and suggestions on corrections. You're not necessarily, you know, I don't know that, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know that it's just having somebody come out and take a look at it as far as, a risk assessment would be that expensive either. And
Well, I
maybe something
think
we talked
that's-
about on the town board side, like you said.
I think as far as the risk assessment goes, you're talking about liability wise? Or
Well,
are you talking
before
about?
just doing something that you think will correct the problem, like
Yeah.
a swale or anything,
Mhm.
and you certainly may be right, I'm not saying you're not.
No, no.
Having a professional firm, what's the word I'm looking for? Have them corroborate that it would be a
Mhm.
that is a good solution, and have that in writing from them is.
Well, and perhaps when you have the discussion with the guy from the state, maybe you could ask him if they would come out, take a look. and
They may have somebody that, take a look at it.
Recommendations, you know,
Yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely.
We'll do that.
Yeah,
And
you're
if
right.
they give us recommendations, that would certainly, maybe go cover for us.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna have to get MSA, the village engineering firm, involved in this as well, because they're the ones who has put the requirements on what volumes we have to.
Well,
deal with.
they got the volume requirements, and as long as we're meeting volume requirements, I can't,
But, I mean, you're gonna have to clear it with them, because they can quite easily take away our stormwater compliance, because we've altered something. And, so I would think you should work with them on that, to make sure that that still meets. the
Because
requirement.
because the stormwater project was required so that we could start building hangars out here. If that goes away, then we're back to no more hangars being built.
Okay, so it's required to build a T hanger for any.
Yeah, for any building out there, we had to have a stormwater project in place.
So I was gonna ask the question, what would have happened if we didn't do it at all? You just paid the higher
Yeah,
stormwater
I think
fees?
somewhere around $14,000 a year.
Well, it's spread out by how many people, you know, like, okay, so you have a hanger here.
Well, it wasn't actually spread out wasn't built to the hangar people, it was built to the town. And then us as the airport commission, we're the ones who started the process of billing the individual hangar owners and T-hangar people the assessment. And I don't know how that evolved, Heskin, or it could have been the other guy, used to be on the town
That
board.
was probably Ed Miller.
Eddie might have worked it out with the board, because he was on both, kinda like you are at the same time, and he may have worked it out with the town. Well, he said to the town, we'll take care of that bill, we'll just pass it off to the, people on the airport. And that way he took it away, because it would wipe out your budget in a hurry.
So what were you paying, what was somebody paying for the stormwater fees before they went to
Per,
sewer?
per hangar,
Yeah,
about $160.
and now you're paying,
About half that, so it's about $300,000 gets spent to save me $60.
Save you, but the next guy, and
Right.
the next guy, and anybody that wants to build a hangar out here in the future, or have 6 T hangars put in, that could generate well over $12,000 a year
Okay.
revenue for the
I
airport.
shouldn't have said anything because this is long past the discussion phase for this.
okay, moving on, whatever.
All right.
Looks like we do that.
That's okay, Ray. I might need a little bailing out and rust.
Okay,
Been a few years since I was on the board, so.
you should have seen me start.
Okay, item number 7. Discuss, clarify, and possibly take action on persons authorized to contact airport attorney and under what circumstances.
So background on that is one meeting ago, or possibly two, I think it was in the minutes for December 6th. Because at some point we did not have a chairperson, I was given temporary ability to contact the attorney.
Okay.
And that was temporary until we have a chairperson. So now, I think the way we left it was that the chairperson and the airport manager have authorization to contact the attorney firm on airport matters.
Jointly,
Pardon me?
jointly or individually?
Individually, individually, they did not have to be as a group.
Any discussion on that, guys?
No, I think leave it that way.
So essentially then my authorization is run out. Because now we have a chair, which is fine.
A chair, yeah.
Because we have a chair.
But if you need an attorney, for some reason, I think we need to have a special meeting to authorize Lou, or have
Or someone else.
Well,
some way of authorizing it, because if he needs it, like right now, you're talking to Sam, you may need to talk to an attorney along those lines also.
well,
We're not gonna rush off this.
'Cause I don't-
We're not gonna rush into the attorney fees.
Yeah. Right, we don't wanna spend the money on attorney fees.
do we have any attorney fees?
No, it's been quiet. We're not incurring fees.
Let's keep it.
Who got billed for this good, you know?
That's the way we like it.
That letter of the township did, because,
Okay.
see, that letter really was, who does that say by? Yeah, Al Larson,
He's your attorney.
yeah.
So do you want this for records?
I have a copy of
Right.
He's actually no longer the town.
it. Well, yeah, he's not,
Oh, okay.
we do have a new town attorney, just to let you know, we're not affiliated. His name is, John McDonald out of Whitewater. But that's not the airport commission attorney, you still have your same attorney, what's his name, Zach something.
At the same law firm.
Right, just at this law firm.
You still, to my knowledge, have that was as an attorney.
Yeah, Zach Hetfield,
Yeah.
he got a copy of this.
He got a copy of that. Right. If any of the, we're still discussing this, if any of the board members think they need to contact attorney, would we agree to get a hold of the chairperson
Right.
and
Yes.
ask?
Yes.
I really think, Al, we need to contact the attorney for whatever reason. What do you think? That's-
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
That's good.
And is this attorney package is quite an expensive one?
All attorneys are expensive.
Yeah.
I never saw a cheap one.
What is it, $2.25 an hour?
Thanks, 2.25 an hour.
Something like that.
Which
yeah.
is relatively inexpensive.
So every time you call them, it's $150, I suppose.
Well, he charges on
What is it,
10 minute,
10
5 or 10 minute.
Tenth of an
increments.
hour, 6 minutes.
6 minute, every 6 minutes.
Oh, on the 10th, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
All right, well, that's something we can look at, because now the town, you've changed your attorney,
Yes.
Yeah.
so. maybe
Less
that's
money
something-
too.
Maybe that's something that we as a commission should look at down the road also.
Have the same attorney, right?
No.
Well,
We
not
don't-
necessarily.
It's
No.
not a good idea to have the signature.
You know, maybe we could even look at some local talent.
Okay.
You know, somebody that, you know, we can give him a call and he can show up here and say, hey, yeah, this is what I think you should do.
I mean, Zach,
That's basically what we did, when we did it in closed session.
Yeah.
With the board, interviewed a couple of them and went with the one we chose.
That was the guy that was sitting here incognito and the only guy in a 50-mile radius with a suit.
Yeah.
Wow. What were you gonna say?
I mean, Zach Hatfield has some aviation experience.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And so it's not just a standard old attorney, I mean, I don't know that we need to go shopping, I'm hoping we don't need to use him that much.
Right.
He is familiar with us, and I don't think I'd wanna get somebody else reacclimated, you know, spending hours and hours trying to figure us out again.
Yeah, just because the town changed doesn't mean you have to, it's kind of a mutual thing between us and because of the,
Cost.
no, not cost, but potential conflict of interest being rep by the same firm.
Even Al said that. It was-
Okay, all right. Okay, well, let's move on then, discuss and possibly take action on methods of communicating with airport users, tenants, and pilots. Danny, I wanted to ask you if you could, maybe at your next meeting of the Palmyra Flying Club, could you ask the guys how they would like to be contacted, or if they want to be contacted about things that are coming up here at the Airport Commission? Would they like an email, like the minutes, or something like that? Just kind of get a feel and kind of see what they want out there, and I'll talk to the guys at 88 Charlie's and let's see, Cal, you wanna talk to the folks at Flying Hawk?
Yeah, again, I'm a member of Flying Hawk.
Yeah, and just see,
I will.
see what they're, just kind of get a consensus on what you guys would like to see. You know, and if it's something that we can do, let's do it that way, to make sure that everybody knows what the hell's going on here, you know? Instead of being surprised by things like we were.
Do
Yes,
you, obviously you post the meeting and all of that,
right,
legally,
yes. of
but do
course.
you communicate to the different clubs when the board's meeting coming up, when the board meeting's coming up to see if, welcome them to attend, et cetera, et cetera?
I have sporadically.
Or maybe you could always set up a Zoom call too, because a lot of the pilots and stuff don't live here. You could do it via Zoom too and put a link out there for anyone who want to attend, just a couple suggestions.
Another thing too that I'll mention, is laying right on the table over there, where you can go to the town website and subscribe to be notified when the airport commission meetings are. They're right back there laying on the table. I suggest you take one with when you leave, or if you're gonna talk to these other people, make copies of it. But, you know, well, obviously I'm on board, but, I'm still subscribed to that, so when Laura posts a town board meeting, I see it twice, but anyway.
Well, at any
Like
rate,
same with this, the commission.
I'd like just to get some feedback from the clubs as to what the people might like to see. Okay, and if you would do that, Dan, I'd sure
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we'll start tossing it around, see
Sure.
what we can do.
You know, just maybe
We-
next
we-
meeting
we
or something
tried
like
this
that.
as, you know, and it really didn't go anywhere as far as showing up at the meetings, you know.
No, you know, it's difficult for some
Yeah.
people, and, you know, a lot of people just don't have the time anymore, you know, they're working. or
Yeah,
whatever.
but people with opinion can always write a letter,
True.
shoot an email.
Or shoot an email, yeah.
You did
They
that.
finally got my email straightened out at the town board, so
Okay.
you can get a hold of me now. So that's all good, okay. We got, down to the last, issue here.
This was John's issue, maybe he'd like
Yeah.
to say a few words.
The airport layout plan, ours is either expiring or is expired now. And we can't do any more projects until we get a new airport layout plan. So we need to get underway on getting that taken care of, and that can be a big bill, it could be as much as $200,000 possibly. And it's not a physical thing, it's more or less paper documents. They come out here, survey the airport, check out where everything is, look everything over, look at safety and that kind of stuff, and what potential it has for expansion and all. But it's done through some kind of consulting firm, whatever, and it gets expensive. But if you don't put the new T hangers in now, because they were on the old airport layout plan, if that one gets nixed, we won't be able to build T hangers until we get an airport layout plan in place.
Are there funds available from other
I
sources?
don't know, I wasn't sure how to approach this one. If you want, I can call a BOA and talk to them and see what our first step is in getting this thing going.
That'd be great. See if we can find funding more. Because
Yeah.
200,000 is out of the question.
And I hope it's not one of those that we have to pay first and get reimbursed, because that'd take us a couple of years to save up that much money to get it
It's
going.
too big a risk, I think.
So if we don't get it taken care of, these things are slow, it could take them 2 years to complete it. So if we don't get stuff going now, the T hangers, there isn't gonna be a T hanger for at least 4 to 6 years minimum out here, new. Now, private hangars can still be built, it's just the big projects are the ones that'll be held up. And the T hangers are gonna generate the most revenue we can get out here in a hurry. So that's why I'm looking at this thing, getting it going too, get it done, and then we're good. I think they last 20 years or something like that, they last quite a while. So I'll get a hold of BOA soon. Who's the initial contact person there usually? Do you know, Lou? Is that Hal?
You try either Hal or, probably he's very knowledgeable. in this
Yeah,
area
I know
also.
him personally too from other work here. I'll
I-
call
I
Hal and get
suggest give
started with him.
He'll set you right direction.
Yeah, all right. And so I'll get going on that and have hopefully some information for our next meeting whenever we get that set up.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Okay, is there any other business that needs to be brought up?
Just setting the next meeting date, it says actually. Setting the next meeting date.
Do we wanna meet again, next month?
We only have to meet once every quarter.
I understand.
Yeah,
With what's going on, do we wanna set a meeting for next month?
what do you think you'll have ready in a month's time on your stuff you're working
I
on?
have no idea.
Okay. I don't know how much I'll have on airport layout plan in 1 month, but
Okay, you wanna put it out for a couple of months?
let's go, either early March,
Okay.
I think early March would be good. I don't know, I don't have any. 6:30 during the week is pretty good though. I don't like those Sunday morning meetings.
No, we won't be having any more Sunday mornings. That's kind of a dodge, my way of thinking about it. Okay, so 6:30 is, we wanna look at, another Wednesday, like the 13th?
Yep.
That's middle of the month.
You might wanna move it up a little, cause
When is your monthly town board?
well, yeah, we do that on the second Monday of the month, so ours will be the 11th.
So sometime, should be something after the 11th, in case you have something to add.
Oh, yeah, I suppose we can go the 12th or 13th.
13th.
Does Wednesday work for you, John?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, how about you, Cal?
Wednesday works, I just don't know.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Well, like with me, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, all right. Well, why don't we shoot for that, and if a conflict comes up, you know, where you guys are flying and gonna be out of the country or something, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you can give us a heads up and we'll just move it around to accommodate. I think we can do that on fairly short notice, but, well, let's shoot for the 13th then, at 6:30?
March 13th, Wednesday, 6:30 PM?
Yes.
All right. Here or over there, do you think?
Well, let's do it here. I think it's more comfortable in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you say, girls? You wanna go over there and sit in the cold?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in front of the heater.
There's enough chairs here too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back to
soccer
Brown.
chairs too. You don't know if you're gonna go through the chair.
We need a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to set the meeting date for that date, March
13th.
13th.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion to adjourn,
I'll make it.
second.
I'll second it.
Motion and second to adjourn, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. See you in a couple of months.
Start,